What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Kickin with Kachi, powered by the DC Voice. I'm your host, Kachi the Analyst, and today, we got the best pop punk rapper of all time, straight out the Midwest, straight out from Milwaukee. Lake, thank you for coming in and kicking me, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. I appreciate you having me.
So obviously, like I said, like we talked about this before, I'm not from the Midwest. I'm from New York City, so things are obviously a little bit more on brand for me where I'm from, a little bit more in the dark about what you do and what the music scene is like in Milwaukee in the Midwest for me. So could you give me a little bit of education on what the environment was like that kind of pushed you into making music and creating your sound?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been into music, and when I was a kid, I did a lot of singing in school or in choir and stuff like that. And then I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of alternative and pop punk and rock bands. That was going on in the 2000s and shit. So feel like just over time, as I grew older, I just, got more and more into creating my own sound. And, that brings in all sorts of elements of myself and things I'm influenced by.
And then obviously, like in making your sound, right? I know a lot of people are very influenced by the environment that they're from. Right now, New York City has a drill scene. Atlanta South has like the trap scene. Midwest, I'm not too sure about what the music scene or what the sound is like for the Midwest. Maybe you could also give me that education as well. And how does your sound kind of fit or doesn't fit with the Milwaukee music sound?
Yeah. Midwest has like a lot of different sounds, man. I mean, just like anywhere, like there's gonna be some hip hop that's coming out of the Midwest, like as far as Milwaukee, we got a lot of like low end rappers and people who have been doing it in the city, like Lil Chicken or Mulamar for a while. But then there's also a lot of things outside of hip hop going on in the Midwest. Midwest emo is a very popular genre, especially like I don't know, it's
Right,
kind of
right,
like
right.
like so that has been something that's existed in Midwest for a long time and plenty of other things. So I think what I'm doing is super authentic to me being myself, and then it's an awesome blend in what's going on in Milwaukee right now, where I can bring all the things that I love together into one.
And then where would you kind of, if there are any musical artists or eras, even with music, we talked about the 2000s, right? With the explosion of the pop bands, the explosion of the rock bands as well. What sort of influences did you grab from to mishmash together and blend together to then make the lake sound?
Yeah, definitely the biggest thing that I use to create my music is my own life experiences. I like to talk about a lot about things that I'm really dealing with or have dealt with in my music. And I think that is a lot influenced by listening to bands like Blink 182 or Mayday Parade. Those are some of my biggest influences. And I remember listening to their music when I was growing up and feeling like, oh shit, they're singing about something that I can relate to really hard.
Right, right.
So I just kind of, kept doing that. I'm like, okay, relatability touched me when I was, coming up. So I want to make sure I can be relatable to others as well.
And then we got relatable there, and obviously, like if you guys have listened to Lake's music, this is the type of music that you cannot sit in your seat. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the type of music you have to get up, you got the headbang, you have to dance around. Like that's that type of music. So just to give us a few words, more words of how do you describe your sound? How would you describe your music for the new people listening and hopefully becoming new fans of you?
Um, I actually said this term like last week, and it kind of just like came off the tongue, and I'm trying to keep it going because I really liked it. So the way I've been describing my music is 5150 music.
Okay.
5150 is like a thing that if you're having a mental health crisis, like the state or whatever can put you on a hold in a hospital until they feel like you're okay, and they call that a 5150 hold. I use
Ah.
that on my music as a lot is because I'm dealing with a lot of I sing about a lot of mental health related things. Like I said before, I sing about a lot of personal experiences as well. So it's all just about ups and downs of life.
Right. And speaking of mental health, right? Like in addition to doing the music, I don't know if you're still doing this now, but you're working about 50 plus hours a week, right? On your own and trying to provide for yourself and, invest in your dreams and invest in your passions, how are you kind of maintaining your balance mentally and physically between the job that pays the bills and the passion that feeds your soul?
Yeah, that's probably the best question you've asked me yet. I'm still figuring out an answer for that. Because it's definitely an ongoing struggle, and yeah, like working a job is essential. I mean, the car that I'm doing this interview in right now, I wouldn't have if I didn't have a job. And same with my house and food and everything like that. So sometimes working 50 hours a week, like just to be able to do that, plus get some money to pay for music is a big struggle and can be a massive burden and feel like I'm spinning my tires, like not
Right,
going
right.
anywhere. I don't even know if I really have an answer for you on that. I'm just keeping my head high and staying focused on the goal and having hope, having hope and keep pushing.
I would say, like, I mean, you're doing it, right? Like, in addition to working all these hours, you're putting out music, you're doing shows, you're curating shows. We're gonna get into a lot of that as well. I want to get started off with the comeback single in December 2021. I'm not sure if this is directly a comeback. I believe in my own research it was a comeback. There was like a brief period in 2020 to 2021 where there was like no music, and then 2021 in December there was a comeback. What was the story behind that single? Wow, that single. And if there was a hiatus, how was important that hiatus for you?
Yeah, I really appreciate you, doing all that research and paying attention because exactly what you said is completely right. Had my I started doing music and recording it and putting it online in 2017, and I was pretty consistent 2017, 18, and 19. And then I took a maybe probably 2 year little bit of a hiatus, and Comeback was the first song that I put out after that as well. That hiatus was um if I'm being honest, it ties into the last question you were asked. I got sucked into the 9 to 5 life, like to the
Right.
point to where for probably two years, I mean, I was still doing music and seeing my friends and everything, but yeah, I didn't really put anything out. I got a little bit stuck in the motions and sucked into the 9 to 5 life, and I had to go, a year and a half to be like, what? Why did I even start this job? I'm here for the
Right,
money,
right.
for the music. Like, what am I doing? So yeah, I lost myself a little bit and maybe lost sight of my goals a little bit during that time. And I'm super blessed that I pulled my head out of my ass and got focused again and got right back into the groove that I had before and made it even better.
And was there ever a moment? I know a lot of artists, they have this feeling where they have all this energy, all this excitement, all this motivation to get the project, get the song out, and that's all there. But then eventually, it's like if they haven't done it for a little bit, it's like either they have all that excitement, and say, "I have to keep going, or I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna lose it," or they don't do it for a little bit, they don't put the song out, and then years go by, and it's like, well, I lost it. It's not the right time. I've been away from music too long. Were any of those thoughts ever ruminating your mind where it's like, oh, I've been gone for 2 years? Maybe it's just a thing that I was really good at in high school, and I'm just gonna keep moving on my life without it.
Yeah, I went through every single one of those things that you just listed off. And I really just had to come to the realization that I mean, I just love music and I love creating it. And just as much as I love creating it, I'm a massive music fan. I spend
Right.
hours every day in my car right here blasting new music every Friday whenever people drop. I'm just as much as a music consumer and a fan as I am a creator. And not doing it those 2 years caused me to be miserable. I ran into a lot of issues, whether
Mm.
it was personal issues, relationship issues, mental health issues, and I had to reflect on myself and what made me feel fulfilled, and it was pursuing music, whether it was creating or whether it was just being involved in the scene around here, because that's also another aspect of music I love. I really enjoy seeing people that I love win.
Right.
So I'm some I hate talking about myself, bro. I feel like I suck talking about myself. But people have told me like, Lake, you're like the best. You're like like someone's number one fan. You're like the best number one fan.
Right, right,
And I'm like, damn, that's a really good way to put it. And I'm not even really trying to be anyone's number one fan. I just genuinely love seeing my boy win, so
right,
I want to be able to do whatever I can to support my friend, or on a bigger scale, support the community and the scene that we have going on here. So I went through all those things, man. And without being involved in creating music or in the scene or anything like that, my life just became like had no purpose. And I got depressed as a bitch. So
yeah,
I just got back into what started making me happy, bro. And my bad, I missed part of your question. You said, did I ever have a point where maybe I made songs, overthought the process, they didn't come out, stuff like that?
right,
Comeback
right,
is an exact example of that song. I actually
right.
made
Okay.
Comeback 2 years before it came out.
Oh
I
wow.
so I had the song. I was geeked up about it, and I did exactly what you just talked about. Oh, I need the perfect video, the perfect cover, all
Right,
everything had
right,
to be
right,
perfect or whatever. And all while trying to get everything perfect, I wound up in that 2 year span of I'm not doing
right,
anything.
right.
So that song and kind of the three other songs that came out around that song, they all have similar covers. So it would be
Yeah, right.
Comeback, Unconscious Options, Thank You,
Thank
and
you.
Best
Right,
Friend. All
right.
of those songs pretty much were made like a year and a half, 2 years prior, and
Oh
I
wow.
broke out of that cage that I had myself in, and I was like, dude, just put them out, and then I moved on to some better ones.
Right. And I would say like since then an explosion of just like things you've been doing and projects you've been into. I love to get into like that seeing friends win, right? Because I think that's a very big part of your branding and your ethos and your position as a Milwaukee artist, right? Because there probably isn't a lot of big artists coming out of Milwaukee. So there is you and a bunch of your collaborators like Too High and Khalil and all these other individuals that you are putting on shows for the music scene. You are leading the new wave of music in Milwaukee. How has that experience been like for you and sort of curating these shows and collaborating with your friends and, seeing people come out to your music and you guys are raging out together?
Yeah, that's been amazing. And it's amazing, bro, because everybody else is enjoying it. That's why I do it. I don't do it to like obviously I want to see these people on the stage too, but I want to see that these people are happy, and then I want to see that the fans are happy that they're there, and I
Right.
want to see that the venue is happy that somebody's putting something like this together. That's the reason I do it, bro. Like, and that's been amazing because everybody's just being able to get more opportunity to either perform, and get in front of new fans, or even there's other people that see what we're doing and they get inspired and now they're starting to do it, and maybe they're super new at it and they don't know how to book a show, or they don't know how to perform very well or anything like that. But when we are such like a open, easy like community here that's putting on events, I feel like those people feel a lot more comfortable to come up and ask, and yo, how do I get a show? Yo, how do
Right,
I
right.
perform like this? Like, and we can help that person do that in the scene. That's the exact, I keep saying that, but that's another reason I do this is because when I moved to Milwaukee in 2017, like I told you, I'm from a small town. I wanted to, how do I get shows? How do I get a
Right,
DJ?
right,
Where are the
right.
producers at? Because I didn't do none of that. And I'll be honest, not really too many people showed me the ropes, bro. I was out here figuring it
Right.
out for myself. That's why, I'm 26 years old now. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the Milwaukee scene for like 5 years at this point, and that's because, for 3 years, I really had to work and figure out a lot of the shit myself. By year three, I feel like I got like a good grasp for the resources we have around here that would help me benefit the most. And I figured out how to use them to get myself shows, get other people shows, and anything else, whether it's, collaborating with producers, bringing people from outside the city here to see our scene. All of that, bro.
No, that's beautiful. And obviously, like we're gonna get into you're wearing the apparel right now, Unfinished Legacy, right? Like probably one of a really
Yeah.
big collaborator of yours, a really long time brand that you've been working with. How did that experience sort of, come to fruition, and how did that sort of become something that was sustainable for you guys?
Yeah, Unfinished Legacy is one of the first people or first groups that I started to hang out with when I came to Milwaukee. It was 2017, and they existed and they were doing their thing around then, but it was definitely still beginning stages.
Right.
When I came around in 2017, I just got invited by one of my friends. Like, I'm just kind of connecting people with through Instagram at this point. I still
Yeah.
live in like small town Wisconsin, and I'm kind of like starting to follow people in the city, and it's kind of like leading me down, little grapevines and stuff, and I'm just connecting with
Right.
people. And
Right.
sooner or later, I get invited by some people. They're like, "Ah, come up to the city this weekend. There's like this warehouse thing going on. Like, I don't know, just come check it out." I come up and I walk into this warehouse. There's people graffitiing on a wall.
Oh
There's a dude
wow.
DJing. There's people freestyling to the DJ beats. There's people making clothes, skateboarding, all sorts of shit. I'm like, what is going on? It's really exactly what I'm looking for, a complete creative hub. Because where I'm from, bro, people are just sitting, drinking Mountain Dew all day. They ain't doing
Right.
nothing, bro.
Right.
Like I'm seeing all these people doing dope creative things, whether it was, BMXing, skateboarding, graffiti, music, whatever. And I'm just seeing like, oh my God, they got a community of all this, and they're all inspiring and feeding off of each other's energy. Oh, this guy raps, well, he's using his beats, and this guy shoots the video for it, and they're wearing this guy's clothes in
Wow.
the video. Like
Wow.
all of it together, and I'm like, they got it all. They got every single element of what they need right here. And through that, I just built a really great brotherhood with a lot of the people in Unfinished Legacy. And through the years, continued to just grow my relationship with them by coming to, the events and the pop ups that they started to put on over the years. Sometimes they would put together a show slash pop up. So maybe they'd sell clothes, but then after the shops close, it's like an after party and we turn it into a concert.
Nice.
So now we
Nice.
get to perform stuff like that. And they have helped me, do a lot of things in the city as far as getting new shows, getting in front of new faces. And then since they're a brand that's really a community hub for anybody in Milwaukee that's a creative, it's helped me meet so many other talented people in the city that, are producers, engineers,
Right.
photographers.
Right.
None of those people I would have met, or maybe I wouldn't have met it as easily if we all didn't have a similar interest in Unfinished Legacy. They definitely are one of the main people who have helped me along my journey in Milwaukee for sure.
And that's beautiful. And I mean, now moving out of Milwaukee, literally and figuratively, right? The SOBs at NYC, right? You pushed and campaigned and got people to vote for you and really try to get your name out there and get you on that stage. And you got there. So what was the experience like in leaving your city for a trip, not for business and trying to make connections, but because you were invited to perform on a really big stage for a bunch of people?
Yeah, bro, that was an incredible opportunity. The way that happened is I just been I just been submitting my song to blogs and playlists online, and sooner or later, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm getting spam called right now. I'm trying to tell them to fuck off. I'm so
You're
sorry. One
fine.
second. I'm gonna send a text. I'm gonna be like, fuck off. I'm on a call. um, I'm so sorry, bro.
No, you're good. We didn't lose him.
Okay. All right, I'm back in action.
Oh, good.
Okay. So you asked how did that experience with SOBs happen and going out to New York City? I had a song called Lightning McQueen that I put out in 2021,
Right.
and um that song first off had like some success in the city and people started to tune in, got a lot of good reception. That was awesome. I changed my game plan on this song compared to the songs before, and I focused on pushing this one song all year long.
Right.
I just
Right.
kept making reels for it. I just kept doing things to keep pushing the song where I felt I mean, I'm a victim of that too. I definitely have put out a song, pushed it for maybe a week or two, and then moved on to the next. And I feel
Right.
like
Right.
pretty much most people do that same formula. I was like, dude, I'm gonna try to push this song as hard as I possibly can. Number one, because I really believe in it, as a lot of potential. But I also want to see like if there's something like what I'm doing right now isn't working, so I might as well try something else, right? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So by doing that, I started to get a lot. It started to snowball. Like, like it started small in the city. Like now I'm getting new followers, people engaging with it.
Right,
Some of my
right.
hometown people from where I grew up start messing with it, which is really crazy because y'all
Wow.
hated on me in 2017.
Right.
Like so that's crazy. Then I start getting like more into Instagram and seeing, oh, I can pitch this song to a blog or this person, that person. I could do things like that. And I found this page called Big Ass Kids, which is a record label in New York City that was affiliated with Pigeons and Planes. And they said that they were doing a playlist, submit your music. Awesome. I submitted the song. And a couple weeks later, Lightning McQueen got on the first early registration playlist on Big Ass
Nice.
Kids. Like that was huge for me. I've never been playlisted by a song ever in my entire life. So that was geeked. And then they did a round two, early registration two, and I submitted my new song because I dropped just another song just a couple weeks after that called "Give Me Your Heart" with DJ The Genius and Eli Stones, and they placed that song on the playlist. So now I had two songs on the playlist. I was the only artist
Right,
with two of
right.
them on there. I was like, damn, they must fuck with the kid, And then about a week after they placed the songs on there, I got a call from the head of that page, that record label, and he said that he would he was doing like a competition for like some of the people on the playlist to be able to
Oh,
perform
wow.
in New York
Oh,
City.
wow.
I was super geeked when he told me that, and I was really excited because he kind of let me know personally and ahead of time,
Yeah,
and
right.
I was like, damn, he must kind of rock with me. I don't know, it was really cool. He must rock with me. He kind of like wants me to know ahead of time and everything. So I was able to do things like prep and get a little bit more promo. So then like once this like I don't know, voting competition opens to see who gets to perform, I could do all I can to make sure I get it. Sooner or later it happened and history happened. I mean, all the fans went in there and voted for me, and we must have done enough to where they had me perform at the SOB's venue in New York City in
Nice.
December 2022. And yeah, that was legendary. I was able to not only perform myself, but I got to bring my homies out there
Oh,
too in New York, and
wow. That's
it
nice.
was dope. So I brought some of the Unfinished Legacy crew with me. We just made a huge trip out of it, dude. Like, the homies out there. I shot a music video out there,
Right, right.
vlogged, all sorts of shit, dude. It was great.
And I guess that obviously has to do that has like to do a major boost to your confidence and um feeling as an artist, right? Like very often we can very just make our music, make our interviews, make our artwork, and just post it and hope that it's good enough to gain enough traction based on its aesthetics. But you show that, hey, this is also a business. It's something you got to push, and you got to market. It's something you got to really work behind and push behind. And you got what you worked for, right? Like that had to be a
Exactly.
great boost for your confidence and really make you know, like, hey, I'm doing something right here. Maybe the people back home probably had some words to say about me before I left and whatever have you, but at least I know today I fumbled around and did something right with myself.
Literally, dude. That's exactly how it felt. And I especially felt that with the aspect of pushing the same song all year because
Right.
there's so many people after I'm pushing the song for 2 months, people are like, yo, we ready for something else, Lake, like we ready. And I'm
Right.
like, I'm glad you ready, but I'm not ready. I'm gonna
Right.
keep feeding you this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I could have got a little bit discouraged there and listen to the people saying, oh, we want something new, and that's cool, it's coming. But I was like, nah, I got more work. I see potential in this song. So
Speaking of songs, before we head out of here, I didn't even realize the time. We've been just chatting and kicking it for a long time here, but if we have anything new that we gotta look forward to, I think that this interview is gonna release in 2024. So, hey, but when the new year starts, do we have new music to listen to?
yeah, definitely. As of right now, my newest song out is called "I'm Right Here." It's a pop punk
Well,
anthem.
I
I got
had
my
to ask because I'm right
Yeah.
here. Got three songs on that one thing that says single. So is it an EP? Is it a single? What is it?
So those first two songs, the "You Wouldn't Understand" and the "Fire Safety" song, they actually came
Oh,
out,
right. They're
before.
singles before, right?
So I'm kind of doing a middle ground thing right now, right?
Right, right.
Where before I dropped, like when in 2017, 18 dropped projects, like two projects, and I didn't feel like anybody listened to it, right?
Right, right.
Then in like 2020, 2021, like we talked about, I was kind of on the single wave, and I pushed one song all year. I saw success from that, but I also like to do the project thing. But I don't want to give them the project because they're not going to listen to the whole thing. So by doing this, I can find a little bit of a middle ground, and I can go song by song, but I can still compile them into a project at the end of the day.
Okay,
So in
okay.
2024, I'd say I would expect the I'm Right Here project as it exists right now to have some more songs on it.
Oh wow, really? So we gotta keep checking back on the DSPs to make sure that the songs is updated, so we can make sure we got our up to date listenings.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay, thank you. And then do we have like music videos, concerts, anything that we should look out for, dates that we should probably put on our schedule?
Yeah, no dates right now for music videos, but I'm obviously going to be doing some new music videos for the songs that are coming out. And as of right now, my next show is on November 17th at Cactus Club in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if
Right,
you
right.
are in Milwaukee and you want to buy some tickets to that, they're in my bio, or you can just DM me and I'll send the link.
I love it. I love it. Yo, Lake, thank you for coming in, kicking with my brother. And this has been a great conversation, honestly speaking. Like, for a lot of people that don't know, my boy Lake was given the forms to fill out on Friday, and it's Saturday, and we're here chopping it up. So thank you for the due diligence. Thank you for the commitment. Thank you for really being on top of your work and being dedicated to pushing your craft, man. I'm just glad to be a platform to do so.
Yes, sir. No problem. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Of course, of course. And you guys can check out my boy Lake on all DSPs. Check out all that new music. I'm right here. It's out right now on all DSPs. Check him out on Instagram at Lake Homie, because that's your homie. Check him out on Instagram and YouTube as well for all those fire music videos. That music video for what was the one? What was the one that you're in the field? I wish you were here right now, I think it was.
The Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen, yes. That song where you got the you just sit on the tree and then yes. That music, yeah, I gotta watch it. 9.7K views, you gotta add another one to it. You gotta add another one to it. That music video is fire. Make sure you guys check out that music video. Check out this interview at the DC Voice on Instagram and YouTube as well. Lake, thank you for coming in and kicking me on, boy. I'm Kasha Analyst. Peace out, y'all. Have a good night.